It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. I went to Arkells Brewery recently in Swindon to record a brewery tour with the wonderful head brewer and descendants from the brewery, Alex Arkell. This is their Saison, Arkell's Saison. It's coming in at 3.5% ABV, described as a crisp farmhouse ale. Now, Arkells, they've been around for 180 years. I like the fact that Alex has come in as a younger head brewer, if I can use that word, and they've allowed him to experiment. They've allowed him to brew some different styles of beers, and this is one of them, a Saison. Here's the bottle cap. We'll talk about Saison in a moment. Look at the smoke on the bottle opening. We'll talk about Saison in a moment, but I just want to talk about the characteristics about the beer first. The look, the smell, the aroma, I should say, shouldn't I? And then the flavours, tasting it. But I had this at the brewery. I wanted to bring a bottle back. Bring it to my comfort zone, really. Bring it to my bar, my surroundings, what I'm used to. And give it a thorough look at. Give it a thorough kind of wipe down, you know, if that makes sense. Right, heads dissipated quite quickly. That's pretty common for a Saison. That's pretty common for a farmhouse ale. It's looking lovely. What I noticed about Arkell's beers while I was down there was just how clean looking they were, just how kind of inviting, always nicely carbonated. So it's a light straw coloured beer. No head, aroma. It's lovely. It's got that Belgian estery, yeasty, peppery, spicy. Even the magpies agree, I think. Ever so slight, like a darkening banana, like a slightly over. You know, you found a banana on the side of the kitchen counter that probably should have been eaten 2 days ago, and you think, you know, it's only slightly fermented, I'll eat it anyway. And you eat the banana anyway. It's got that kind of soft banana aroma to it. A little bit peppery and spicy. Nice malt aroma coming through, a light, crisp wafer malt aroma. It smells lovely. It really does. I'm going to dive in. Cheers, everybody. Oh. It's quite dry. And I think I remember tasting it and thinking how dry it was at the brewery. But that offers a crispness. Some people, when they drink beer, they'll say crisp. Some people might say dry. I instinctively use the word dry, but it is very crispy. It is very refreshing. It is very kind of clean cut on your palate. That lemon comes through. There's a little bit of lemon, a little bit of citrus coming through. There is a lot of that, what I would call like that blackening banana, that very ripe, overly ripe, slightly fermenting banana in there. But it's good. It's a really nice combination. It's a really nice balance between that crisp, malty, grainy, wafer-like beginning, a little bit of bitterness on the back end, a little bit of that kind of lemon or slight grapefruit flavour, mixed with that lovely black banana taste. It's spicy, it's peppery. It's got that Belgian estery kind of yeasty aroma to it and taste. Some would describe it as horse blanket. When people drink Saison, it's almost got that kind of farmyard horse blankety aroma and taste to it, which this does too. Carbonation pushes the beer around the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. Let's get the rest of the beer in then. I don't believe Arkells bottle condition their ales. Now you'd see that. No, they don't bottle condition their ales. I suppose it's probably one step at a time for what Alex is trying to now achieve at the brewery. I mean, they're starting to brew Saisons. Maybe in the future they start looking at bottle conditioning, maybe some canning. Although everyone's canning, I'm finding canning a little bit boring now because everyone's doing it. 440 milliliter cans has become the kind of the norm for craft beer. Maybe Arkells don't look at canning. Maybe they just stay in bottles, because bottles for me is now more of a rarity than cans. Whenever you want to try a new beer from a brewery who maybe produce one new beer a month, you're generally going to find it in cans. You're not generally going to find it in bottles. So maybe as a unique selling point, they stay in a bit of a holdout in terms of bottling. But maybe, as I was just mentioning, maybe they could possibly look at the bottle conditioning aspect of things. But, you know, that's a conversation for the owners and the brewers to have together. I think it would probably benefit the beer a little bit if it was bottle conditioned, if it was, even if it wasn't bottle conditioned, even if it was unfiltered a little bit, I think it would benefit the beer a little bit. But generally, it's a really good beer. Now, I want to talk to you about the farmhouse kind of Saison, where it comes from. So, in Belgium and France, back in the day, it was the way, it was a tradition that a French or a Belgian farmer would brew beer for their farm workers. They make bread and some cheese for their farm workers. In a sort of a come for lunch, you've worked really hard in that sweltering hot field all morning. Come and have some lunch, come and have some cheese, come and have some bread, come and have a glass of beer. And that was a way of payment. That was a way of saying thank you to the farm workers. So the afternoon on the farm was great, wasn't it? They've had a glass of beer, they've had some cheese, belly full of food. Job done. They can carry on doing their farm work, which, yeah, I think is a terrific way to go. Maybe we return to those days in the future. One of my last jobs before I kind of come into this full time on YouTube was working in Asda, and Asda would always feed their workers. They would always get the short dated bread, butters and stuff, and you could make toast and tea, and you know, it was a very similar thing. But even towards my last days of Asda, they retreated from that. They took that away from the workers. It was up to you to feed yourself, really. But I always thought that was quite a nice it always felt nice that going into work in Asda, doing a bit of a morning shift, you know, slightly tired eyes because you started at 6 o'clock in the morning, but then by 10 o'clock, you're looking forward, you're almost rubbing your hands with excitement where you got a nice, it was always the decent bread as well, short dated, decent, thick bread. So you'd have some toast and a cup of tea. And it would just keep you going. It would just be that something very small to look forward to. So that was the idea really between, or the idea with Saison and the farmers. And I think they've mentioned it on the back of the bottle as well. Saison means season in French. This style of beer was first brewed on farms in Belgium and France in the 17th century as a refreshment for the workers who came to help with the harvest every summer. Fantastic. So that's a very nice kind of way of saying it, isn't it? Very nice way of putting it on the side of the bottle. So I'm going to rate it. I'm going to rate this Saison. Arkells Brewery, easily one of my finds of 2022. Visiting the brewery, drinking their beers. It's a hidden gem. If you're in the area, it's a little hidden gem, Arkells. It's really worth a visit. It's a lovely place. I like this enough to give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.